ECDC podcast. I forgot what number it is.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually the first podcast of the year, of this year. So
Well, thank you.
Cool.
yes, sir. So yeah. So I'm grateful to have these professional musicians I've been looking up to for years. So we have Mr. PJ Spraggins to my right and Mr. David Smith to my left.
Good to be here.
And
Yes,
glad to have y'all in the same building. So
Yeah.
Which is
It took a minute, but we got here.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. So we are going to talk about power of adapting to situations as a musician. So let's start with David Smith and just get your overall aspect of power of adapting to.
The power of adapting.
Yeah.
It's first knowing, I'm going to say, boy, it's first knowing how to adapt. You know, knowing the situation, you know, understanding, since we're saying musically, understanding the genre, understanding the vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's how you adapt first. Researching the vocabulary and putting yourself around people that understand the vocabulary. For example, excuse me, got some going on. I don't have anything.
No, you
It's pollen, man. It's wearing me out.
It's killing me.
Just in case he shows this in the summer, we're in the spring right now.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm going to give you an example of adapting. People don't know, I sub for PJ, and I'm glad to, because he ain't got no chump gigs. So, because everybody is in that place where, you know, they sub for people. It's not, subbing is not a bad thing.
That's true.
As long as it's quality.
I'm a sub too. I'm a sub too, bro.
So it's been many times where, first of all, before PJ called me, I would watch PJ. Or when he did call, I would go back and say, okay, how do I adapt to this situation? Well, I listen and I ask questions. Am I lying?
That's right.
I would call him a minute and be like, yo, it's two people especially, Ear Essence and Dr. Payne. Those, they understand the sound that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand, I'm still talking about adapting. People don't understand that PJ helped create a lot of the sounds. Right. So, you know, he created those situations. You know what I'm saying? He's with Ear, even though there was drummers before him. The style that they're in now, it, you know, customized where he is. And he helped mold that sound, right? Hearing Pain. It's a certain sound that he listens to because PJ helped create that sound. Wow. So I had to ask PJ, okay, what should I do in this situation? This is me adapting, right? Taking away my personality, halfway putting it on him and putting a sprinkle of myself on it. That's adapting. Sit in that seat and to adapt to that situation. It helps when you ask questions and you reach out and you stay connected to people. So that's the first part I would say is the power of adapting.
That's
pretty good.
right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about yourself, PJ?
I piggyback on what Dave was saying. It's all about knowing the situation, what you're getting into, being familiar with the material way ahead of time, and also being easy to work with. Having an attitude of cooperation, in spite of how somebody else's attitude is.
Yes.
Because it's all in how you handle that situation, you know, because the artist might not be the best person. They might be a jerk.
Exactly.
He or she might be a jerk. But are you going to be a jerk? You know, you still have to deliver.
Yes.
So you have to get yourself out of your head and focus on the music. That's the important thing, focusing on the music. So, as you said earlier, less of yourself.
Yes.
And more of a spirit of cooperation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man,
But the crazy part, PJ, I didn't know I was adapting until I was in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I be getting these moments when it come out. It's like preachers. I be like, wow, that was deep. Sometimes you take
The
yourself.
doors
That
of
was
the
deep.
church are
No, you don't know until you're in the seat. Like sitting in the seat playing for PJ for the 75-piece orchestra at the Mercedes thing in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there playing, I'm like, wow. Like seeing it, feeling the shift that you're making.
Yeah.
And understanding, man, I'm making these wise decisions, and it comes from experiences. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen overnight. You know, it took a couple of people to tell me, you know, and I had to be open to it. How can I put less to myself and make this thing work? You know, it's called being a producer.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
It's called being a producer.
You're producing on the spot.
And on the spot. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't get those calls, and we will continue to get those calls, those season calls, because we don't know. We are open, first of all, and we understand, you know, how to adapt. So
yeah. First of all, start learning that music. Mm-hmm. Start learning as soon as possible, and that's the main thing, familiarizing yourself with the material ahead of time.
So let me ask you this, because I know I think we all came into these kind of situations before, where the week of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, especially nowadays, because we have other stuff going on. All of us have other stuff outside of music that's going on.
Yes.
So we just have to schedule when we can. And, you know, artists come to town to a local club. We get the call. Most times, I'm going to start the week of the show. Mm-hmm. Like that Monday, I'll start listening.
Yep.
Yeah. Then by Tuesday, Wednesday, most definitely, I'm sitting down at the kit playing and going over the charts too.
Yeah.
And, you know, so Friday or Saturday comes, I'll be ready to go.
Nice.
Rarely do I get a chance to listen, you know, more than a week in advance because of what's going on. Playing with several artists, just don't have the time to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Dave?
Adapting to an artist. So
we were just talking about this earlier.
Yeah. We're similar. Mondays, let's say Brian Cymbals. Let's say I play for him. I just played with him, but I never played with him before. So if I just got one artist on Friday, that Monday, like you said, I'm listening to the material.
Yeah.
I'm not putting much thought into it. I'm just letting it get into my soul.
Yes, sir.
Not sections, and indirectly I'm listening. Wow, because I never thought about this. Indirectly, I'm listening to the style.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm listening to how many fast songs I have, how many slow songs I have, how many songs I have. Period. Which songs I want to learn first. It's like a job. I seen what really further let me know that it was a job. I was sitting in the airport with Wes, and we were waiting on the plane, whatever. And he was like making notes and like, what are you doing? Just learning material. I come from a sanctified church. What are you doing? So I was like, man, you really treat this like a job. That shifted my whole mindset.
Yeah.
I say that to say when I'm going through it, you know, how many fast songs I got, how many slow songs, how many complicated songs, how many repeated songs that I have with the same groove. So then I started really isolating it, and then I put in green. You know, when I learn it, green. When I'm okay, yellow. When I don't have it yet, red.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at 12 songs because I'm going to be helpful, so I have to be blunt. Sometimes I do get overwhelmed. Because I want to be perfect or close to it. So when I get all these songs, or let's say we get a live arrangement, that's even worse. Some live arrangements you can't chart. You just got to get in there. Yeah. Some artists you cannot chart. You got to get in there. I would never chart Air S's.
Oh, yeah.
One, you know, I'm subbing for a good guy, and I'm trying to prove something. That not prove like, oh, call me again. No, that I'm with the big boys now.
Yeah.
It's a certain type of air come with that. He understand. That's a whole. You don't play with that gig. You you don't play with that. You don't play with certain. None against certain artists, but we do this. I'm sorry because you do it too. Some artists I keep them nameless. Yeah. Some artists you're gonna throw more charts in, do the schedule.
Yeah.
Some artists just to be, for a comfort area, you may throw a lot more charts in and learn it. Some artists you just gonna get in there. You just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that. It's slowing me down. Mm-hmm. So after I go through that process, by that Friday, I take the first 6. If I have 12, first 6, I go ahead and I just keep learning those, make sure I got them. And I take that Tuesday, Wednesday, get the other 6. That Thursday, I'm trying to nail it down with everything that I have.
Yeah.
And then by Friday, I'm ready. I'm good to go. So it's like you said, that week before, I did that one time when I first played with Nick Coleon because I was nervous. That's when they used to give music out.
Yeah.
A month before. Hey, all right, it's coming up. You right? Used to.
Yeah.
That thing went from 4 weeks to 3 to 2 to 1. And man, by the time you got to the week of, because I have canceled gigs before because they gave it when I in my beginning stage of smooth jazz. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, you give me the gig, the music on Monday, and you want me to know by Friday? Nah, I'm not available. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm paying so much money.
That's all right, but you're making yourself comfortable.
Exactly.
You don't want to.
Right.
You're learning to not overexert yourself.
Yes. Don't have a 2 artists. Don't have he understand. Oh, yeah. And you two don't have a different artist Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. Whoa. Yeah. And you get both of their music that Monday?
Yeah.
Man,
that's crazy.
Don't call me. I mean, on the phone. Nobody call me like, look, I can't talk right now. It's just, and don't have a little day job with that. I mean, it's just more. It gets more complicated and complicated.
Yeah.
But it's how you schedule. That's another way of adapting. How you schedule your time. Because it's another job.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Utilizing your time.
Yes.
Managing your time.
Yes, managing time.
Yeah.
It's another job. Mm-hmm. So we take it really serious. It's not something we playing around with trying to figure out what we're doing.
Most definitely.
No, people call because they know we're going to take care of business. Mm-hmm. And we're going to learn that artist.
Yeah.
We're not going to disrespect them or their music. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Getting back to adapting to the situation, it was about a month ago, I got a call to play with P.O. Bryson for the Soul Train cruise. So I found out the reason I got the call was because some members of his band didn't have their documents in order. Mm-hmm. Expired passports, didn't take the COVID shot, Yeah. And they had to get a whole nother band.
Wow.
Yeah. So getting into that situation, I had all my documents in order.
Yes, sir.
All my stuff was in order. Get your passports. Very important. Passports. Get your shots,
Yeah, you talking to me because I don't have my passport.
Get your passport, bro. Yeah. I mean, because you never know. You might get the call that could pay you some good money.
Yeah.
And you just want to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I got the call, learned the music, but the situation was the music director, who's Peebo's best friend, Dwight, bass player. He's a really good bassist, but he's old school, very old school. So in this situation, it wasn't charted. No charts were given out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to the original recordings. I should be all right. Well, I was straight. I learned the music, a lot of classic music. Get to rehearsal the day before we leave to go on the ship. He wants to teach us the live arrangements of the songs. And he expects us to know this. I'm like, live arrangements?
Yeah.
We didn't have any prior knowledge of that. But you have to adapt to the situation. Are you gonna freak out because you didn't get prior knowledge of live arrangements, or are you just gonna learn on the spot? well, you do the best with what you're given, and that's what I did, and ended up being pretty decent gig. We did two shows.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 shows on Soul Train Cruise. Good experience, great experience. But if I had have freaked out, like you didn't give us the live arrangements,
Right.
I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't get called back again.
Makes sense.
So you have to be able to adapt positively to whatever situation you're in.
That's true about those passport.
Yes.
How I got the Ruben gig is because I had a passport.
Ah,
We had a gig in Canada, and the drummer couldn't make it, and I just stayed like that. The drummer couldn't make it, and so it was like, "Yo, you got a passport?" I think I had just got one because I went to St. Martin or something with Technique or something. So it was still good. I was like, "Yep, I got a passport." Slammed the gig, and it was mine.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that I'm from the house. So the flights are cheaper now. So
Yeah.
I land the gig, and I've been doing it ever since, man. So pick it off, PJ. Get your passport.
Yeah.
Get your documents. Stay current, because that's kind of work we do. If you want to, do overseas international work. If you want to just stay domestic, hey, don't do it. But
yeah, but don't limit yourself.
Yeah, don't do that.
By not having your passport or not being vaccinated and all that stuff. You're limiting yourself to what you can do in the game. You want to make yourself.
And I love how you said, man, we also have to learn how to adapt with confidence.
Yeah.
My style is my style. I'm not going to win everybody.
That's true.
That is
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
That is
I'm
true.
going to do the job. I'm going to do what I have to do. And if you don't call me back, I made my money for that night.
Exactly.
And I'm going to take that, whatever happened, and and put it in my back pocket and move forward.
Yeah.
And if confidence, if he didn't have besides that, if he didn't have the confidence he had to learn that material at the last minute, like you said, some of us freeze up, and that's what keep us from the A list.
Exactly.
Not the style. Not that. It's the one thing I love about Calvin Rogers, adapting. One thing I love about Calvin Rogers is when he hit the toms, I meant to hit that 8.
Yeah.
I meant to hit the 16. Boom.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to do. If it's quarter notes to 30-second notes, it doesn't matter. He have confidence in his playing.
Yeah.
And sometimes that holds us back. You ain't ready. No, you're not ready because you keep telling yourself that.
Exactly. You got to. The power of life and death is in the tongue.
All the time. Yeah.
So if you keep downing yourself,
It's gonna come.
that's
out
what's gonna
like that.
happen.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna manifest. You manifesting what you spoke.
Man, I tell my band all the time, I hope we're not off.
No, we're
I
not. No.
tell my band all the time, how you feel comes out in your horn.
Yes.
How we feel comes out in our hands and out of our limbs. If you timid, I can hear it. If you sad, I can hear it. I close my eyes. By your dynamics, I can tell how you feel. So it's important, man. Ride your confidence and know who you are, and what gift God has given you.
That's right.
Because your gift is not like anybody else's gift.
Right.
I don't have that touch like PJ touch. I don't.
Yeah.
I've tried every time.
And I don't have Dave Smith touch. I don't have Timothy Huffman touch.
Man, that's just,
Exactly.
the way you play that just amazed me.
Oh man.
Right.
It really does. No lie.
Man,
'Cause
likewise, bro.
I come from a
Likewise.
different ear. From this person I might get this, but this person I may get this. I'm like, man, that's amazing. Listen to what's inside of you come out. That's what I'm amazed about when I hear drummers.
Yeah, same. Very much same. Nah, that's some good stuff, man.
Yes.
And what happens to that musician if they're not adaptable?
They don't get the call back. They, as we all know, Shawn Michael Ray. In the words of the great Shawn Michael Ray,
The chief himself.
fantastic bassist, He said they go take you off the road and put you on the road.
Yeah.
Meaning take you off whatever gig you on, send you home.
And the big part is it depends on what you're doing. If it's just kind of on one off, you're just not gonna get called back.
Exactly.
Because you're and you can have a great spirit, but if you're not adapting playing wise on stage, if it's not gelling, it's just not working. And I could tell from gelling, as in if you're a bass player, we just don't match, but you're still good. Yeah. Maybe I might put you with another drummer. And I'll say this guy's name. I'm cool. Like me and Trey Gilbert, like we could not just. I think we're growner now. Like we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But we tried to adapt together. It just could not gel. Like, it just wouldn't. We couldn't find out what it was, and I talk about when I see him sometimes. Like, man, what is it about me and you? Because I grew up watching him, so to play with him was cool. But it was just we couldn't do that. And sometimes everybody's not gonna gel with everybody.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
not a bad thing at all. So that's important. Off stage is important to adapt.
Yes.
Not adapt and do dumb things, right? If you do drugs, I don't have to do drugs. Yeah. I'm adapt. I'm adapt by not saying, you're going in hell. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to be me. While you sitting there smoking weed, if I feel like it's not bothering me, I'm going to have a sit there and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to say, hey, man, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed, y'all. I'm tired.
Okay. Got some random questions before we end.
Okay.
All right. So, this question is specifically for PJ. So, I think we all know that most MDs are either keyboard players or bass players, but as far as when it comes to drums, a lot of people don't think the MDs are drums. So, at least, and I think you too, Dave, because you did a couple of shows yourself too in the past. So at least coming from the drums, playing behind the artist, to being like a front person and being on the on the charts and things, how were you able to adapt?
Well, that's a good question. In my case, I think I started outside from starting playing in the church. I kind of got my start making my own music before I started playing with other artists. I was doing that at home. That was the first thing. After I learned how to play drums, I was always interested in making my own music. So I think I kind of naturally grew into that. But it was for me it was an easy transition coming from behind playing for an artist to, I guess, being the MD, so to speak.
Or the front man,
front man, directed my own show. I just try to think of playing with an artist, think of what the artist needs. Me being able to hear the artist along with everybody else in the band. I just try to. You have to be in a servant position. Yeah. Serve the music, serve the artist, and when I'm the front man, I expect the same thing, and that's usually when I call the people who I call, that's what I get. Yeah. You know who plays right or who plays like you like them to play. So you just automatically know who to call. So it was an easy transition for me. Yeah.
Wow. So this is another question for Dave Smith.
Okay, now
yeah.
Okay.
I definitely want to go there.
No, I was gonna have you repeat that question again so I can hear it twice. Now, because you didn't, say it right. The more you know, the more calls you get. Because sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you got a day. Sometimes you got a moment. Sometimes it's just doom. Here you go. I did some changes. Like he said, his happened live. He had to learn it at sound check. Sometimes it ain't no time.
Yeah.
It's just right there. Boom, boom. Hey guys, here you go. Had to make some changes. Blah blah. I wanted to make the song shorter. And some guys don't know. They don't have an ear to say, "Hey, let's just take one of the bridges out and let's go to this route. We're gonna do it this way."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more writers, so it's
Yes.
like do 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 da 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 da.
Yeah.
So yes, reading is important. You just open up a whole nother vein, knowing how to read, and it's helpful for you. These, for example, these last 2 days I have not been able to sleep. For me, when I learn music by heart and I put my all into it, like I respect Brian Simpson because he was my first jazz artist.
Wow.
So I would never let him down. Like I don't care. I'm gonna make sure I know that show, and I like to embed music. And when I do that, I cannot sleep.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I decide not to commit to memory because I don't sleep. Like last night, I had to sleep to like a rain sound on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because then after that, I had to learn Marcus Anderson. You can't read Marcus Anderson because he got too many stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
And you just
Yes,
got to
sir.
get it. And then you got 4 or 5 songs at one time. And then he got 2 more. And then he got something else. So you can play with him for you don't have time for that.
Yep.
So that's why I said some shows, some live shows, you just got to get in there. So I couldn't. I was jacked up last night for the last 2 days. So reading is very important for you, not just the artist. It just helps you from a mental capacity.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you have. We get calls to play for festivals, and
Yes. Oh,
we play for multiple artists.
get more money, man.
Get more money,
Yeah,
but if you don't know how to read charts,
Yeah.
you're gonna mess up
You,
because I'm not gonna commit to memory all that stuff.
nah, bro. Not 30-some songs.
No, ain't no way. So I'm gonna read charts.
And most of our charts is, I'm sure he does the same thing. I'm just reading the melody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the melody, and I'm reading the sections. I just need to know the section.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much going to know the grooves. I'm kind of going to have a little window, what's happening. Unless they give me a drum chart, I'm in there.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
That works even better, but they don't do that. So I just read the lead sheet.
Yeah.
Lead sheet.
Yeah.
Yep. I do
To
the
make
same
sure
thing.
I'm good, and make sure I understand when I see that bell. Oh, this is what song this is. So I just compare, what song to what chart.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Well, yeah, man.
Nice.
Reading is very, very useful. Like Dave said, it broadens your horizon
Yeah.
as a musician. You're not just limited to play in local bars or local clubs.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could play with a symphony.
Oh yeah.
If you read well, you can play with a symphony. You can play with bigger name artists that come to town that might need somebody to play with them.
true.
I know Dave knows this, but you may not. Probably about 6 years ago, I was in a situation where I got the call to play for a guy from Nigeria. I think 2 days before the gig, because the band didn't learn his music.
Wow.
So I asked, does he have charts? He had charts, so I asked him to send them. They sent him.
Was it that owner guy?
Yeah, Ola Onabule.
Okay.
That's his name. Ola Onabule. But yeah, had a show in Atlanta.
You could tell I've been following PJ. So.
But yeah, man, the band didn't learn his music, so I got the call. They sent me the charts. I had literally a day. So I listened and read the charts as much as I could. I learned, I would say, half of the show, internally, but the rest I had to read charts. But if I didn't know how to read charts, ain't no way I would have made it through that gig, because it's different time signatures, songs with different tempos.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot going on, but because I knew how to read charts, I felt comfortable. And ended up, that led to ultimately me being able to travel to China with him a year after that.
Wow.
Because I made a good impression because I knew how to read charts.
Yep.
It's so important. Bam. Bam.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Y'all are
Yes, sir.
music teachers, so y'all know how important it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And it also helped. We both got put in situations with the same artist.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Kaswa.
Kashiwa. Yeah.
I think it happened to PJ first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it happened to me. Got the wrong dropouts, you know. And I got to the gig, and I'm gonna let him tell his too. I got to the gig. I was 6 songs short because I looked at the wrong dropouts, and it's not his fault, you know. Whatever. Sometimes I'm put it like this. I'll make it generic. Sometimes dropouts get a little sloppy.
Yeah.
You know, you may have this, you may have this, you may have 2023, you may have 25, you may have 18, you may have, where am I getting these from? You may have a song, you may not. You was just like, okay, you know what, whatever. So this time, I think I went to the wrong Dropbox, or they sent me the Dropbox, but then they sent an updated one, something like that.
Yeah.
I got to the show, they passed out that dang on set list. I was like, Wes was playing there. I said, yo,
What is that?
dude, I don't know these songs. Man, I had to go outside, calm down.
Yeah.
He talked to the artist on what it was. He was like, the same thing how PJ happened now. Like,
Yeah.
had to download the charts. It was one song, I think it's 6/8.
It's in 7, I think.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And it's written like that. And you have to read it in the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just got in the car. I said, y'all, I just need about 5 minutes. I got in my car while they were still checking. Download, listen, made a little note, blah, 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 blah. Went in there and played it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
It was that simple.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we said reading is so important.
Very important.
So,
You know, you make a good impression on these artists,
yes,
Yeah.
they will call you again.
they will call you again.
It happens so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how to read. You know you have multiple tools in your arsenal.
Yes.
Not only do you play well, but you know how to read, and you're easy to work with.
Easy.
You always gonna
That's a
call.
plus. That's a plus.
Always.
That's a plus.
Oh yeah.
So 3 more questions before we end.
Good.
I'm enjoying this, man.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. 3 random questions again.
Random.
Yeah. Start with PJ first. What's your favorite drums and cymbals? Let's start with that.
Favorite drums and cymbals. I currently play DW drum set.
Okay.
Love DW, but I also love Pearl.
Okay.
I also love Tama. So, and Yamaha. I love them all, but I think I'm not endorsed by any drums or cymbals, but I've been playing professionally probably almost 30 years. DW is always on point. Pearl is always on point. Tama is too,
Yeah.
but that's my top 3. DW, Pearl, Tama.
EW Pearl Town. Okay.
Cymbals, Mino. I just switched to Mino about a year ago. I love my Mino cymbals.
Yeah, you got a good set, man. I heard you play those at Perfect Note festival
Mm-hmm.
with Kim Scott. Those
Yeah.
those sounded amazing, man.
I didn't have the full set then.
Really?
I finally got the full set now. I had to, little by little.
Yeah, minors is expensive.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
Okay, so lately, I know I go the long route. So, Yamaha, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. But Pearl Master, it's just right up in there, up in there. Then the Pearl Reference.
That's your touring setup, man.
Yeah. The Pearl Reference is cool because it has the different shells
Yeah.
Yeah.
from burst to Babinga. But sometimes I love the Pearl Master because when you hit, all of them feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get doo, they all gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
So mine is in that. Well, I used to be a Tama fan. I was a Tama fan because John Roberts was playing.
John Roberts,
So I had to
yeah.
give him a Star Classic, just like him.
Mm-hmm.
I was a sponge until I found out my own. I believe it's being a sponge to somebody, imitating somebody till you find your way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sticks, I go to Sticks too, because I got a little endorsement with Cymbals. So Stick, I'm a Vader fan.
Okay.
That took a minute.
Yeah.
Only because I like the whole combination, the brushes, the broomsticks, just everything that come with it. That whole collection. I love all of them. I'm currently with TRX.
Yeah.
Shout out to TRX. They're wonderful cymbals. But if I had to say second, it would be the Spraggins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love those absolutes. Not absolute. They're called evolutions.
Evolution.
But they break real quick. Right?
Yeah.
You can't be a hard hitter and hit those.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave Welco
Yeah.
for
The Spraggins cymbals, they're very musical.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Very musical.
But I don't diss zillions.
Yeah.
I don't. Those
Yeah.
I put some online. Those Sound Master.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Master Sound hats. Those ones. Like,
Woo!
they so crispy.
Yeah.
I had never seen. I promise you, all the hats I done played. Those right there, stay in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are my studio hats.
That's great.
So that's me.
Okay. Favorite venue to play at?
In town
Or-
in Birmingham,
I would say top three because y'all played at too many of them.
I would say like out or in.
Both. It could be festivals. It could be
Okay.
just a favorite room
Favorite.
that you like to play in.
Okay, so just something that just came out. Shout out to Perfect Note. It's a good venue. Wordplay cool, but it's just something about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I ain't got there yet. No disrespect. Wait, we talking real.
Yeah.
I'm just doing in town first. I don't really like Iron City.
That's one of my favorites, man.
It's dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. I played there once.
Yeah, it's a dry spot.
Yeah.
Out of state, I would say Nashville. I forgot the name of that. It's like it's like the Alice Stevenson something.
Okay.
It's a spot
Oh,
over in Nashville.
The Symphony Hall.
Symphony Hall.
Yeah,
Nashville.
yeah, that's nice.
Oh
That's
my
nice.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, that's an awesome place.
yeah.
Festivals, I haven't done many. But if
How was Sea Breeze for both?
I would
of
say
us?
Sea Breeze.
Sea
If I
Breeze,
just-
Outdoor
Yeah,
festival,
so-
Sea Breeze. Both
I
of
would say I have done a lot of amphitheaters.
them.
But that festival, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I would say Sea Breeze. Start for
In town venue, probably my absolute favorite is the Alice Stevenson.
Okay.
Great sounding room, great sound, great acoustics.
yeah.
I mean, we did a school performance a few weeks ago, and we set up in there. We're going to perform in there the next day, but we had to rehearse in there.
Yeah.
So we set up and we didn't have sound. We just set up. And man, when I tell you, we got a chance to hear the room. It's beautiful. I mean, it just sounded beautiful without sound reinforcement. Yeah.
Wow.
Alice Stevenson, that's my first and foremost favorite in town. As far as clubs in town, I would have to say Perfect Note. Yeah.
Okay.
Once, certain person is on sound, it's always gonna be great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm one of the best.
Number 3 for me in town.
That's kind of hard.
It is. I've only played it once, but I mean, Iron City was cool. I've only played it one time. That was back in 2014. Open for.
Now y'all jazz in the parks was pretty good, man.
Huh?
I say you all was jazz like when you all was playing at Jazz in the Park.
Oh,
y'all was-
yeah.
I mean y'all used to play almost every week, man.
Yeah, we did.
Man.
Out of town, my favorite venue is probably St. James.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cool venue.
Yeah.
And then City Winery is cool too.
City One.
Mhm.
It is. Most of them are.
Yeah,